So, basic income. You've probably heard the term thrown around a lot, right? But what if I told you that what most people think it is completely missing the point? Today, we're going to dig way past the headlines and get to the surprisingly deep idea at the heart of it all. Let's jump in. Okay, so when you hear basic income, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's this, right? You get money every month, no strings attached. And look, that's not wrong, but it's barely scratching the surface. It's really just the tip of the iceberg.
And here's the thing. If that's where we stop, if we just think of it as some new kind of government handout, then we've missed the entire point. The real conversation we should be having is so much bigger. It's a total game changer.
All right, so let's tackle this common view head on. Is basic income really just about getting money? The short answer, no, not even close. Seeing it that way, it's kind of like looking at a super advanced rocket ship and only talking about its paint job. You're completely missing the incredible engine inside that actually makes it fly. I mean, sure, here's the textbook definition. It's a system that gives an unconditional, fixed amount of money to all citizens. Yep, unconditional, so it doesn't matter if you're working or not. It's a set amount and everyone gets it. Sounds simple, right? But that definition just tells us what it is. It doesn't tell us why it's such a huge deal.
And this is where everything clicks into place. It's not just some economic policy. It's a philosophical proposal. Think about that for a second. It's an idea that fundamentally challenges the way our society is built, right from the ground up. So that brings us to the real heart of the matter. Basic income isn't really about giving people extra spending money. No, it's about changing the entire baseline of life itself. It's about rethinking how we survive and what it means to feel secure in the world.
Let's just pause and try a quick thought experiment. I want you to really imagine this. Imagine a world where you knew 100% for sure that you had enough to survive next month. Guaranteed. How would that change your life? Like right now, today. What choices would you make differently? How would it affect your stress levels, your relationships, everything?
And that's the huge shift right there. See, for most of us, right now, our lives are basically built around this one idea: working to survive. But imagine a society with basic income. The whole premise changes. The question isn't, how am I going to survive anymore? It becomes something way deeper. How do I actually want to live?
And when you start asking that new question, it leads to this massive, profound transformation in how we think about one of the biggest parts of our lives: work.
Think about it. Before BI, work is an obligation. You have to do it to survive, period. But with BI, when your survival is taken care of, work becomes a choice. It's not the only thing you have to do. It's one of the things you can choose to do. Maybe you want to go back to school, or take care of a family member, or finally start that business you've been dreaming about.
And that is the essential transformation we're talking about. The biggest change isn't about the money. It's about freeing up human potential from the constant grind of working just to stay alive. It's about giving people real agency, real freedom.
Okay, so if this is what it does for an individual, just imagine the ripple effect across an entire society. We're not just talking about individual lives here. We're talking about a chance to redesign our communities from the ground up.
And this is why those common debates, where's the money going to come from, or will people just stop working, they kind of miss the point. Now, don't get me wrong, those are important practical questions. But if we only focus on the how, we forget to ask the much bigger question, which is why. Why would we even want to do this? And the answer is about the kind of society we want to live in.
You can think of it like this. BI is basically an update to society's operating system. It's a proposal to fundamentally change how we value one another as human beings.
For a long, long time, we've lived under this unspoken rule. You could call it labor and money supremacy. It's this idea that your worth as a person is tied directly to how much money you make. So people who earn a lot are seen as better, and people who can't earn, maybe because they're sick, or they're a caregiver, or an artist, they're often looked down on, like they're a burden.
What basic income does is it flips that whole idea on its head. We go from a system where a human's mean value is their ability to work, their labor power, to one where a human is respected just for being alive. It puts this simple but kind of radical idea back in the center. Every single person has value, period. It doesn't matter what their paycheck looks like. So, okay, when we push past all the arguments about money and funding, what are we really talking about? What's the real question here?
The real debate isn't about spreadsheets. It's a sociological endeavor. It's about how we all live together. It's a civilizational project.
It's about what we, as a people, decide is most important. And yeah, at its very core, it's a deep philosophical discourse.
Because ultimately, the conversation around basic income is nothing less than a conversation about what it means to be human. Do we only value people for what they can produce, for their economic output? Or do we believe that people have inherent value just because they exist?
So, the next time you hear people arguing about basic income, I hope you'll remember this. Try to think beyond just the dollars and cents, and instead, ask yourself this one huge question, because it's the one we're all trying to answer together. What kind of society do we really, truly want?